Bienvenidos and welcome back to Puro Pinche Gol, the place we discuss all things USMNT y la selección mexicana. My name is Adrian. Joining me once again is my co-host and Tocayo with his balloons there, Adrian. Adrian, what's up, man? How are you?
Dude, I'm barely waking up from that match. It was boring as hell, man. I wasn't able to watch it um, live, so I had to rewatch it. I guess to see the repeat. And golly, dude, it was hard to stay awake for that thing.
Yeah, as you guys know, if you've been listening to this for a while, like we like to do our 6 things we learn, usually right after the episode so we can get the best reactions and, the best takeaways. But yeah, that one just we debated we should do a 6 things we learned. We watched it. Adrian watched it a little late because he was busy this weekend, like he said. But it just there was no había ganas to do the 6 things we learned just because it was such a bad match. But even for these bad matches, there are, I guess, takeaways, and we're here to discuss the 6 key takeaways for United States versus Slovenia here during the January 2024 Camp Cupcake. Something that's become a regular staple now against USMNT. Years. They always start the year with the Camp Cupcake here that's become known. Adrian, let's get into it, man. Like we said, Slovenia won 1-0 after a very lackluster, a very boring sleeper of a match. Greggberhalter played 4-2-3-1. We'll go off reading his starting 11 here. He put White at the front as the striker. Tillman, not Malik Tillman, his brother, making his debut for the USMNT. Diego Luna, Camungo as midfielders. Atención Morris, Aiden Morris there as the holding midfielders. And DeJuan Jones, Miles Robinson, Sawatsky, and Shak Moore as the defenders, with Schultz as the goalkeeper. A lot of new names, Adrian. A lot of new, obviously, players making their USMNT debut. We'll go into more detail on that, but let's get into it, man. I think this one's going to be one with more negatives than positives. And the first one I want to bring to your attention, man, and to our listeners' attention: U.S. is now winless in their last 6 straight matches against European opposition. The last time the USMNT won against the Euro team was back against Bosnia and Herzegovina in December 2021. What a stat, man!
It's been a while, dude. It's been a while. If you put in consideration the last 6 matches, so you have Slovenia, and then before that you had Germany. Before that, you had 3 matches in the. Okay, sorry. Before that, you had the 2023 Camp Cupcake against Slovakia.
Serbia.
Serbia.
Mhm.
And then before that, you had the 3 matches against European opposition at the World Cup. And for whatever reason, not sure why, but the European continent is not necessarily the best plate for the USMNT. Not sure
Yeah.
if it has to do with the style of play, or just because those European teams, I guess, are either at the level or slightly above the USMNT. But goddamn, man, what is Triple G doing?
Yeah, they definitely seem to struggle. We know European teams are a lot more physical than the Latin American teams, where Latin American teams are a lot more technical. And maybe that's what USMNT struggles against, man. Being matched, at physicality. We know a lot of the USMNT players are, bigger or not necessarily technically gifted, but they make up for it with their speed or their strength or their stature, right? And these European players, Germany, they're gifted technically and strong, fast, tall, agile. Same with who they played at the World Cup: England, Wales, etc., Netherlands. But yeah, just a very bad stat from Triple G here. Doesn't look good on him, on his record. And granted, the Camp Cupcake, after I can't even recall, was Triple G still in charge of Camp Cupcake in
No, I think
2023
that was
after the World Cup,
BJ.
or Tonyo Hudson?
Tony Hudson, yes, Tony
Yeah,
Hudson.
yeah, you're right.
Mhm.
But still, other than that, the other 5 matches or 4 matches that he's been in charge of, and yeah, unable to win since 2021 there. So yeah, Triple G. Not the best look for you, man.
If you want to make the jump into becoming a better national team, right? These are the kind of matches that you gotta own. And even if it's a Camp Cupcake, right?
Yeah,
Uh, Bring a decent team and die of something, dude. Like show up to the match and do at least the minimum.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like you're playing a superpower. You're playing Slovenia, and you're playing them at home. And what I've read, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on Slovenian players. This is Slovenia's like B and C team. It's not even their starters. It's nothing but players from their league in Slovenia, not necessarily other leagues throughout Europe. So, I mean, okay, this is an MLS squad, but you would think an MLS squad would be able to beat or at least look better than they did against the Slovenia B or C team. So, disappointing to say the least. That brings us on to our another negative here that kind of goes hand in hand with this. The USMNT should have used this opportunity to test out Olympic under 23s. The USA has finally qualified for Olympics here in the summer for the first time since 2008, I believe. And only 5 of the 11 starters were age eligible, for the Olympics. As you know, Olympics are under 23 tournament with 3 over 23 players permitted on the squad. So yeah, I mean, if you want to make this international break more useful and to get something more out of it, to get more learning experience out of it, or start prepping for that, you know, use this opportunity. It's not like you have a lot of opportunities to play these guys before the Olympics start. So use every chance you can, and yeah, I mean, that's another negative. I think. I mean, he didn't make the most out of this opportunity to allow for the summer plans, right?
Is Triple G coaching the Olympic team?
I believe that's how it works. Yeah,
Really? All
I
right,
think
that's
so. Yeah.
interesting. Well, I
Mhm.
mean, more to your point, dude. It's like we often see a lot of criticisms on these January camps, right? These cupcake camps, and people often think, what's the purpose of this? What are you calling players that might not even have a chance to debut on the USMNT? Like you're not even calling prospects that you're actually following on a daily basis or on a monthly basis to be as a backup for your B or A team, right? Make the best out of this. You have a high, a very important competition, a high visibility competition, a competition that actually can put you in a spot to continue scouting players that might be good backups for your B and A team. Yet you choose to grab players who have almost no chance to become a regular feat on the USMNT. Use this time to mesh with your under 23s, maybe bring one or two veterans so they can I guess set the tone or at least help you uh, convey the message of, hey, this is what the USMNT has for you if you commit to us, right? Or if you continue playing with us until your I guess major team debut. But you know after this match, what can you make out of this? Even those 5 6 players that are age eligible to play for the U under 23, was it really worth it to see them? Like this, does this benefit their chances of getting called up for that competition?
Right. I mean, after that performance, it probably worsens their chances.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
sorry, quick correction here. No, Greg Berhalter, obviously he's in charge of the whole USMNT program, right? He's the head coach, but the actual U23 Olympic coach is Marko Mitrovic. He's a Serbian.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
yeah, so it wouldn't be Triple G, but
Ah, he is Serbian, huh?
yeah. So yeah, I agree with you, man. Definitely a waste of time here for anybody that was trying to go to the Olympics to really get seen or perform, because no one performed to the level that the USMNT fans expect.
Yeah,
Um, a neutral here, I guess the only one that maybe performed decently enough was Diego Luna, not the Star Wars actor, but Diego Luna, the player. He had a decent match. Obviously, he's the Russell Lake player, and I think he was the most lively player there on the pitch. He was played on the left wing, but he had the opportunity to kind of go in as a number 10 as well, and he looked the most lively during his time before he was subbed off. Created the better chances at goal, better crosses, but he wasn't really rewarded. None of his teammates, were able to do anything with his chances created. So, I mean, Diego Luna, I guess, good job, man. You stood out, but it's like standing out amongst not a lot of not performers, right?
Yeah, like he sometimes they say you rather be the head of the lion rather than sorry, the tail of the lion rather than the head of the rat. I guess it sounds better in Spanish. Prefiere ser la cola de león que cabeza de ratón, something like that, along those lines. Anyways, but I think in this situation, he's definitely not the tail of the lion nor the head of the rat. uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, it was. I agree. I mean, what I was watching this match, I think in my mind, there's no doubt that Diego Luna was the best player on the pitch. There were a lot of pundits claiming that this other player, his name is what's his name, Esmir Bashrak Tarevic. I'm butchering his name, but a lot of people a lot of people are saying that he was the actual standout of this Camp Cupcake, and I strongly disagree. I think Diego Luna was definitely the best on this disjointed team. I mean, you notice it was really difficult to actually call them a team because they just looked completely out of it, out of their element in a lot of ways. Do you know Diego Luna is dual national?
um, I don't think so. I know he's Mexican. Well, like his parents or grandparents. I don't
Mhm.
know how far back it goes, but no. I mean, he was born in California, and no other team has expressed, uh, you know, bring him to their youth
Yeah, because
team or anything.
this doesn't cap him to the USMNT, right? Just in the event that maybe he has an outstanding MLS season this year, and for whatever Mexico is definitely lacking players. So yeah,
I mean, yeah, but nah. I mean, he's always been with the under 18 or 17, 15, whatever USMNT. It's hard to see him going anywhere
he's going to
else,
Chivas,
but
bro.
he's going to Chivas. Yeah, following El Caballo Cal. Um, the next negative here we have Camp Cupcake, man. Is this camp really needed at this point? Uh, if you're not going to use it as a chance to see your youngsters, if you're going to use it as a chance to just use MLS players and have them perform that bad, MLS players that probably won't ever even, at least these guys that he showed us, right, will probably never even make it close to the B team, let alone the A team. Um, I mean, what's the point of this game? They're playing in San Antonio in front of 9,000 fans uh, before the NFL playoffs. So it's probably had like least amount of coverage ever against a not very marketable team in Slovenia. Um, and then they lose 1-0. They probably need to start rethinking the point of this January camp.
Yes, sir. I mean, as we were discussing earlier on this episode, is what's the purpose of this, right? I think the USMNT, specifically the USSF, I guess in this case, ought to take a step back and just look at this whole January camp in a holistic way and determine if it's really beneficial, right? And if it isn't, then we want to keep on going because it's a way to increase popularity for the USMNT locally. Then let's make it something that actually captures the attention of the USMNT fan, right? Because I mean, the stadium wasn't even full in any way. It was. I think it was very difficult to see like any specific PR messages or like commercials or anything out there letting us know that the game was going to happen. We knew because we follow the USMNT, but if the intention is not only to scout players but also increase popularity locally with your fans, with your fan base here, then why not make it worth everyone's while, right? Bring those prospects that are exciting to see. Make sure that you bring an opposition that even if it's a B team, it will make the environment of the match more enticing to the fans. Like I think it will be different if they were facing a B team from Brazil or a B team from the Netherlands, B team from Spain, something like along those lines, or even bring the A team of Peru. I mean, or whatever team Peru can put together, right? But man, it's just difficult to keep on supporting or keep on saying that yeah, this is a good choice or a good decision of the USMNT. It's just it's becoming harder and harder to stand behind this January camp.
For sure. I wonder, to your point, if they had made it in Austin instead of San Antonio, if they would have gotten more coverage and more support out there during that Saturday morning. As you know, obviously San Antonio leans more green towards Mexico a lot more. Austin, the USMNT has played there before and had a decent turnout in the past. They have an MLS team, obviously Austin, so I wonder if that would have made a difference. But yeah, regardless, I mean, lack of marketing, lack of opposition, interest in opposition, lack of players that the USMNT brought along just didn't help out, and really
Dude, like
makes go for it.
bring a club, right? Bring Monterrey, bring Tigres, something like that. Like that doesn't, it just makes sense, especially if you're playing San Antonio. And I don't know, if you look at the prices on those tickets, by all means, they weren't necessarily cheap. It was like
Right?
$40 per ticket.
Hell, play
So
Inter Miami,
exactly, there we go.
right?
Here, someone has to send this to the USSF or Triple G. Listen us out because we got big ideas, dude, and we can save January camp if you let us do
Save
those.
January camp. Hashtag save January camp. Yeah. All right, man. Moving on. Another negative here. Shak Moore, the right back. I was gonna say running back. The right back. I've been watching too much football. He was horrible this match. I think he was the one player that. Obviously, a lot of players were horrible, but I think based off what we've seen Shaq Moore in the past do, he was called up the World Cup. He played in the World Cup, so you'd expect him to be decent. He's decent for Nashville. He played very bad this match. He was getting beat. He was getting beat on the dribble. He was losing balls constantly. He was not tracking back. Shaq Moore was just all over the place in a match where everyone was all over the place.
Didn't Triple G name drop him as the, I guess, next in line to take Serginho the spot in the event that he's not available?
Did he? I mean, you have Scally. I mean, I don't know why you'd put this
I,
guy.
well, I'm pretty sure I read it somewhere. I saw it somewhere, or maybe I saw like a quick interview of Triple G. But I'm pretty sure that he said that he was a potential replacement for the Nations League matches coming up this year. But my guy, listen, this match did not help his case whatsoever. If anything, it reminded him that yes, please stick with Joe Scally and find someone else because Shaq Moore is not your solution right now.
Yeah, I think Shaq Moore peaked at the World Cup when he got those couple minutes, and that's going to be his story to tell his grandkids that hey, I played at World Cup, and because I mean, from here, yeah, it's like if anything, he moved way down on the list now.
Precisely, yeah.
And to wrap this one up, man, I guess we always try to end it on a positive, and there was no positives here though, so we're ending it on neutral. 11 players made their debut. Will these? I guess that's a positive. I mean, doubt any of them have a chance at the A team or B team, but I guess it's always kind of nice to have a debut. You saw 11 of them this weekend. That neutral, I guess, struggling here,
I,
man.
I guess so. Like this is the best example of tying players to a national team just for tying players to a national team, right? You're giving them a false sense that hey, you might have a chance to play with Christian Pulisic or maybe go to a World Cup, right? But that's not the case. That's not going to happen. Like you have a very strong A team and a B team, and on top of that, they had to even defeat whoever is ahead of them on the C team because they're clearly not in contention for those spots. So, yes, I guess if you want to look at numbers, this is definitely a neutral thing or a positive in a way because you are increasing the roster of eligible players for the USMNT. But sometimes it ain't about the quantity, dude. It's more about the quality.
For sure, definitely good resumen there. Um, And with that, that's kind of our resumen, our summary of the six
Yeah.
takeaways from this match. I mean, as you guys saw, we struggled to get this list together. We struggled to finish that match. I'm sure a lot of y'all USMNT fans did as well. Maybe even change the channel to watch the NFL playoffs that Saturday. But
I wouldn't blame
yeah,
them.
Adrian, man, as you wrap up the six things we learned, brother, where can our listeners find us, dude?
They can always find us on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on the notifications. You can also find us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast on. Last but not least, you can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Puro Pinche Gol. We post stuff every now and then.
And make sure to follow us and let us know in the comments below. What did you guys think of this match? Did you even watch it? Did you watch it all the way? Was there any, player other than Diego Luna that you thought, deserved maybe some accolades here? And just let us know if your thoughts on the January Camp Cupcake for sure for the USMNT. Definitely interested in interacting with you guys, listening to what you guys have to say there in the comments. The man, another episode with you, brother. See you in the next one.
Always a pleasure, my friend. Take it
Likewise,
easy.
dude. See ya.